Good everyone. So in this class I'm going to be introducing you all to HTML. Now HTML is just a standard markup language that is used to create web pages, and it is the backbone of a website. So to create a web page or a website, when you want to code, the first language that you need to know is your hypertext markup language, which is what HTML. As you can see, it also serves as providing what structure and content for web pages. Okay, now some major key components of HTML is element tags. Okay, now HTML, for you to do anything in HTML, you need to know the specific tag to code what you want to code. So just know that the element tags are tags surrounded by angle bracket. You can see your lesser than sign and your greater than sign. Okay, and these tags are used to define the structure of the web page and also the content of the web page. Okay, now we have three types of tag. We have three types of tag. We have the opening tag. As you can see, you see the lesser than sign there, then you see the tag will be inside, then you see the greater than sign. So let me just take for example. Now I want to write the text in bold and I need a tag. So the tag for writing the text in bold is the B tag. So when you put your lesser than sign, as you can see there, then you put the B inside, which is the tag, then you put the greater than sign. Okay, so just know that this first opening tag here, this is how to do it. You just see the tag there, it's used to begin an element, then you see the closing tag. Now to differentiate between your opening tag and your closing tag, you will see the slash there. You see the slash there, that is the only difference. Okay, for you to know that this is an opening tag, this is a what, closing tag. Now we also have a self-closing tags, and just as you see the example there, the self-closing tag, after the tag you will now see the what, the slash. So that one you just use to automatically what, end an element. Now some elements need to have an opening and a closing tag, while some elements just have they are just self-closing. Okay, now another major component of HTML is your attributes. Okay, and your attributes are also components of the tags. They are components of tags. Okay, the element tag, and we are going to talk more on that when we start our course proper. Okay, now the code that we are going to use, the code editor that we're going to use for this tutorial is Visual Studio Code. Okay, now there are many other code editors or text editors. We have the Notepad++, we have your Atom, and so on. Okay, now but for this tutorial we are going to be using Visual Studio Code. Okay, now Visual Studio Code is just a free open source lightweight and extensible code editor that has been developed by Microsoft. So this software, Visual Studio Code, that we are going to be installing later on, is developed by Microsoft, and it is designed for developers to just write code, to debug, to test code in various programming language. So you can use your Visual Studio Code to code including HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and all that, even Python. Okay, so just know that the Visual Studio Code is just a software that developers can use to code. Okay, now the major key components of this Visual Studio Code, the first one here you see is the syntax highlighting. And when I say syntax highlighting, it's just like painting a code in a particular color in layman terms. Okay, just painting a code in a particular color in layman terms. Okay, now for the definition, you just see it's used to display code in different colors and formats it. Okay, used to display code in different colors and what formats. Okay, now if you are coding in PHP, it has its own color. If you are coding in CSS, it has its own color. If you are coding in HTML, it has its own color. And most of the times, even each of the tags also have their what, special colors. Okay, so just know that syntax highlighting just has to do with what, with displaying code in different colors and formats to what, visually distinguish between various elements and makes the code easier, so that we developers will be able to read, we'll be able to understand it, and we also be able to edit the code. Okay, now the next major key features of on this Visual Studio Code is the auto completion. And in layman, when you just hear of auto completion, just know that it just has to do with what, automatically completing something. Okay, so now auto completion just refers to the automatic completion of code, and in English terms now, it predicts the code that you're about to type. So let me say, for example, great is a code. So once I just type GRE, so this auto completion is going to give me AT to complete it what? Great. Okay, it's going to give me predictions, many predictions, either AT, either ET, and so on. So I will just hit the enter bar, select and hit the enter button on the one I want, or just click on the one I want. So that is just the work of auto completion. So just know that auto completion has to do with what? The automatic completion of code, and it helps to what? Predict the code you are typing, provide suggestion for completion, and helps to save time. It helps to save time and reduce typing what? Errors. So peradventure you don't know what you want, you don't know the complete code for a particular element, and you just know some in your head. So when you just type the one that you just know, it's just going to give you list, just going to predict more codes similar to what you type. So you just click on the one that you want to save what? Time. Okay, now the next one is debugging. And when you just hear of debugging has to do with what? Identifying and fixing of what? Errors. Okay, identifying and fixing of errors. So peradventure you make a mistake, it's going to highlight it in a particular color, maybe red, just depends on the setting. Okay, it's going to highlight it, and it's going to underline some kind of red underline depending on your settings, and that is going to allow you to know that there's an error here. Oh, there's a mistake here. Okay, so one of the major key features of this Visual Studio Code is also debugging, which helps to identify and fix error, okay, in your code. Now the next one is extensions. Now extensions in Visual Studio Code are just small software package that add more functionalities to the editor. Okay, now we are going to be seeing all this, and we are going to be using all this. Okay, so the next one here is major extensions in Visual Studio Code, okay, for HTML coding. Okay, now the first one is Prettier, and this Prettier is just a code formatter, and what it does is that it is used to format your HTML code, and it also supports other languages like your CSS, styling, and JavaScript for functionality. Okay, but just know that Prettier is just a code formatter that automatically formats your code. Okay, now we also have the next one, the live server, and what this live server does is that, as you can hear the name live, meaning real time, and you can hear the other name server, it serves something. So this live server just serves your file, your HTML file, to the browser. Okay, now in English terms, now just know that the live server is an extension that enables the local development server with live reload capabilities, okay, allowing you to see changes in your browser instantly as you edit your HTML. So when you start coding and you have this live server, so when you run your file using this live server, anytime you just update your code, it's going to just automatically save the file to the browser. So you don't need to be refreshing your web page, you don't need to be reloading your web page. Once you just keep typing your code, just keep coding what you want to code, it's just going to do automatically be making the changes, just like that, be making the changes, and so on. So that is just that for this class. So in our next class, we are going to be installing our Visual Studio Code and these two major extensions here, Prettier and Live Server.